Welcome everyone to Let's Talk Real Estate Investing. Uh, Here's another one in the series. In this series, we will be sharing with you experiences, knowledge, and learning from other real estate investing professionals and experts, including myself, to empower you to have the right tools, the strategies, processes, whatever you need to put together your personalized real estate investing strategy. Each of us are unique, so each of us have our own investing strategy. And it may be that we take a little bit of this and a little bit of that from other people and put together to make things work for us. So we're here to introduce you to special guests and that will be sharing their journey and what they do for you to get some ideas. My name is Debbie Balfour, and I'm a real estate investor along with a real estate investing success coach. And I help real estate investors to find their personalized real estate investing strategy, build and implement it, and then also scale efficiently through processes and tools. We're going to talk today with my special guest, Sylvia Ho, and Sylvia is a mom of two. She's a licensed mortgage agent. She's also a landlord for the last 20 years. How she does all this stuff, we'll find out from her too. So she's here today to talk to us about financial strategies to save landlords money, taxes, and interest. Who doesn't want to learn about that? That's amazing. So, Sylvia, I'm going to hand over to you to introduce yourself a bit more, and then we'll get into our topic.
Thank you very much, Debbie. Yes, whoever is listening, real estate, in my opinion, is a gift that just keeps on giving. There's so much that you can get out of real estate. For us, my husband and I, we've built a real estate portfolio. We own 7 properties right now. And last 2 years ago, we built our dream home. Last year, we lived on an island for 6 weeks. And the only reason we were able to have this kind of lifestyle and to make these choices is because of real estate. I believe that every single Canadian should be a landlord. That's my mission.
That's awesome. So, tell me more about how you got involved in real estate investing. Like, why did you get involved in it to start with? What prompted you to choose real estate investing?
Yeah, well, you know what? I actually didn't choose real estate investing. It actually kind of fell into my lap. And 24 years ago, my mom, who was a real estate agent at that time, so I grew up real estate. My whole life was real estate. And she took me to go see this townhouse here in the Toronto area near Fairview Mall. And we went to go see it. And she was like, Sylvia, this is the perfect townhouse. I love it. Let's buy it. And I'm like, okay, great. Mom, who's buying it? She's like, you are. And I'm like, what? Hold on for 2 seconds, Mom. I can't buy this place. I'm not ready. I have $50,000 in student loans. I just graduated from university. Mom, I am not ready. I don't even have a full-time job lined up. I am just going for interviews right now. Mom, I'm not ready. I don't even have the minimum 5% down payment. And her answer to me was, Sylvia, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Let's just sign on the dotted line here. Let's just buy it. And I was like, okay, you know what? My mom is there. She knows what she's doing. She's going to be my guide. I signed on the dotted line and I bought this place, not knowing anything. We figured out the issues. I got my 5%. I borrowed my 5%. I got my full-time job. I moved into the place and I ended up renting out my rooms. I had 2 rooms and I ended up renting some of the rooms to my friends from church. I was like, okay, great. This is awesome. Fast forward 3 years later, after I bought my first place, I sold it. I made good money. Like, you make good money in real estate. So I made good money. I paid off my $50,000 in student loans. Never would I have imagined to pay off 50K in 3 years. I still had money left over. I bought another place, more expensive, fully detached house at Leslie and Shepherd with a walkout unit, with a walkout basement. And I bought that place and I still had money left over and I put in a basement apartment. And then, Debbie, this is what happened. I started renting out my basement. Okay.
So you
yeah.
So you started house hacking before house hacking was a thing. like before there was the term house hacking,
I
right?
guess so. I don't know, but my mom was like, "Do you need 2,400 square feet all to yourself?" Because it was a bungalow, right, with a basement unit, with a lower out walkout basement. And I was like, "No, I could live upstairs in 3 bedrooms, 1,200 square feet. I could do that." So I renovated upstairs because it was all in the 80s kind of thing, right? And then I put it in the
Mhm.
basement apartment with the profits that I got from selling my townhouse, and then I started renting out to students. And the money coming in, Debbie, was more than my mortgage payment. I
So you lived for free. You lived for free, and you were making money.
Yeah, and I had no student loan debt. I had nothing. And I'm just like, okay, why are more people not doing this? This was really easy, right? It was
Mhm.
really easy. And that's when I quit my full-time job. And then I went into mortgage brokering full-time.
Ah, okay.
I was
So
just like, I got to understand this. I got to know what's going on. I don't like, why are more people not doing this? So that's how I got into real estate. It kind of fell into my hands. I didn't really think about it. And thank goodness my mom was there to guide me. So for me right now, fast forward 24 years, I want to guide other individuals into getting into real estate, but more specifically into financial strategies.
okay. So what's your, so let's get there then. So what's your specific, each of us, as I mentioned, each of us have our personalized real estate investing strategies. And that strategy is made up of the way we do things too. It's not just that we invest in buy and holds, or we invest in, multifamilies, or that sort of stuff, but it also talks about the way we do things and the processes. So what you're specifically excited about is about your strategy around finances. So let's
Mhm.
talk more about that. Let's
Yeah.
tell me more about what this is all about. What makes your financial strategy something that's unique?
Okay. Yeah. So I got into real estate with my mom as my guide. And then over the last 24 years, I've looked more on the financing side of things. So that's where I come in as a mortgage agent with my mortgage agent hat, and I help people, use the BRRRR method to buy an investment property. Right.
Mhm.
But where my passion lies right now, where my focus is currently working with current landlords to empower them with financial strategies to help them save money, save taxes, and save interest. And so that's my goal right now, is to empower landlords with financial strategies. And a specific financial strategy is called cash damming.
What is that? I've never
Cash
heard of it
damming, yeah,
before. Yeah.
yeah. It's actually a term that was created by CRA, by the Canada Revenue Agency. And they termed this financial strategy cash damming. The wealthy Canadian landlords use this strategy all the time. They know about it, they use it all the time. But middle class landlords, we don't use it. And we're missing out on a big part of wealth building, especially when we already have the tools in place, but we just don't know how to use those tools. It's like looking at a toolbox and you see this like wrench and you're like, okay, I know this is a tool, but I don't really know how to use it properly. And that's what I'm here. I'm here is to teach landlords how to use this specific wrench, how to use this strategy called cash damming. And what cash damming is all about is about getting the government to pay you to be a landlord.
How is
How
that
exciting is
possible?
that? I
I
know,
want to get the government to pay me to be a landlord.
I
They're,
know
all they're doing is taking away from me as a
exactly.
landlord.
Okay, so this is, how about if I back up 2 seconds? And I'm just gonna tell you a story. Would that be okay if I told you a story?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just call it a story of a family of four, mom, dad, and 2 kids. Okay. Let's just say they make about $250,000 combined. And we know a majority of that money goes to income taxes, right?
Yep.
So if I was to use rough estimated numbers, $250,000, let's just assume a 50% tax bracket. Now we're left with net of $125,000. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So of the $125,000, the first thing we're going to pay that comes out of our paycheck is our mortgage, right? Our mortgage payments for someone who makes around $250,000 will range anywhere between 6 to 800 grand. They're going to make mortgage payments on about 35 to 40, $3,500 to $4,000 a month, which is about 48K a year. Fair enough?
Yep.
$40,000 a year minus, and then we have to minus property taxes, $6,000 a year. And then, of course, we have to pay for utilities. That's another $5,000 a year. As a family here in the Toronto area, you probably have 2 cars and you're paying another 12 grand a year. You probably want to go on vacation as well. That's another $5,000. You're probably going to spend $5,000 on RESPs. You're probably going to spend another $5,000 on insurance. Bottom line is that once you start netting $125,000 and you start minusing all these things, it comes down to about $39,000 a year that you can live on, which is
That is
$32 a
scary.
month. I know
That
that's
is really scary. And that explains why a lot of people are in debt because, we also want to live a better life. We think so we end up buying things, consumer goods, etc. on credit, and ending up in debt.
Yeah. Yeah. So $39,000 is not a lot. That's about $3,200 a month. You
Yeah.
can easily spend that money,
Oh
right?
yeah. And when you're paying for kids' activities and
Oh, yes,
private schools as I did and all of these things, it's
it's expensive.
there's nothing left.
It's
Yeah.
expensive. So what happens is there's only 3 ways to increase our cash flow. Okay. The first way to increase our cash flow is to win the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
right.
getting struck by lightning, which we don't want to happen.
Exactly, exactly. The second way is to find a second job, right? But then you're never going to be with family anymore because your evenings and weekends are going to be busy doing your second job, right?
Yep.
And most families that you and I work with, they want to spend time with family.
Oh, definitely. They're doing this for time freedom to be able to spend more time with the people that they love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's option number 2 is to increase your cash flow. Option number 3 to increase our cash flow is to pay less income taxes, right?
Yep.
Because right
Because
off
it
the bat,
takes a big chunk.
exactly,
Mhm.
$125,000 goes out the door. So that's what cash damming does. So you asked me, what does cash damming do? Cash damming decreases the amount of income taxes that you pay, specifically for landlords. And it's all about a cash flow reallocation strategy that puts more money in your pocket. And the government is happily wanting to give you money every single year. Does that sound too good to be true?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, it sounds too good to be true. And how the government looks at it is when we own real estate, it's a business. Okay.
Yes.
So for anybody as a landlord out there, this is a landlord business that you're running. So when we run a business, we actually invest in the economy. Does that make sense?
Yep.
We're actually putting dollars into the economy. And the government likes that, right? When we hoard our cash, the government doesn't like that. The government likes when we spend our money, right?
Yeah.
So when we invest in the economy. So that's what cash damming is all about. When you invest in the economy, the government is happy. And when you apply the specific cash reallocation strategy, the government is very happy to give you these tax refunds every single year until you're the age of 130.
So does this only work for people who have a mortgage on their principal residence though? Or is it for it does it work for people who have paid off their mortgage?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. So the whole idea behind cash damming is converting your non-tax deductible debt into a tax deductible investment line. Okay.
Right.
So for those who have no debt against their owner occupied property, what we call bad debt,
Mm-hmm.
cash damming does not make sense to you,
Okay.
right?
Right.
But that person who has no mortgage against their house, they actually have a bigger problem. They're sitting on an asset that's not making them any money. Right?
Yes.
They actually have a bigger problem
So
there, right?
that's when you take out a home equity line of credit or
Exactly,
remortgage
exactly.
and then yeah.
Yeah, they do the BRRRR method and they come talk to you about investing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people who don't have a mortgage do not do cash damming because it doesn't make sense. But like I said, they have a bigger problem where they're sitting on like $1 million of cash that they're absolutely not using, and it's just going down the drain. And it's just so sad to see. It's great that you have no mortgage. I'm happy for you, pat you on the back, but you have this huge asset that you're not making any money. So you need to go talk to Debbie. And Debbie's going to teach you how to invest this money. But for those who have a large mortgage or has a mortgage against their owner occupied property and you want to get rid of it as soon as possible. So let's just say most Canadians are on a 25 to 30-year amortization.
Mm-hmm.
By implementing cash damming, you will automatically shave off 6 to 10 years off of your mortgage. And
That's
the key
awesome.
component about this, Debbie, is there is no extra input of money. And what I mean by that is, let's just say you want to pay down your owner occupied mortgage. They're like, okay, well, I'm going to do lump sum payments. When I get my bonus, I'm going to put my bonus onto the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no extra input of cash when we implement cash damming. Your lifestyle stays exactly the same. You don't have to tighten up your belt. And that's the
Mm.
beauty about cash damming is you get rid of your mortgage faster. The government helps you do that by paying you in tax refunds. And you're going to be able to retire much, much earlier than planned.
That sounds awesome. And for all of us, we want to get rid of that consumer debt.
Mhm,
Like, so consumer debt is bad debt. We're
mhm,
in real estate, we're not saying that debt is bad because debt is leverage. And if
mhm.
we're leveraging debt to make money, that's a good thing for investing. But debt is bad when it's consumer goods and your home is a consumer good.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. It's for the audience listening, it's the whole idea behind bad debt and good debt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you just talked about, right?
Yeah.
A mortgage against your owner occupied home is because you're consuming it because you're living in there. You're absolutely right. That is considered bad debt.
Mm-hmm.
From a cash damage perspective, that's considered a debt that's not tax deductible. So basically, I help you make your owner occupied house tax deductible because
Yeah.
we all know because we live in it, we can't deduct the taxes. But once you apply cash damming strategy to your finances, you're moving your home owner occupied mortgage from being non-tax deductible to being tax deductible.
So this sounds a bit like the Smith maneuver.
Mhm. Yes, it
Right?
is absolutely. Yes. So this is called cash flow dam
Mm-hmm.
within the Smith maneuver. This is an accelerator within the Smith maneuver. So you're absolutely right. This is the Smith maneuver. It's an accelerator within the Smith maneuver. And the Smith maneuver is so, so, so powerful. So powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everybody needs to be doing the Smith maneuver, and it's about getting the word out there.
Yeah, and some of us, I think, when it comes to the Smith maneuver, I think some people have already got the right product and they're not utilizing it. So the Smith maneuver is another topic, but well, if you speak to Sylvia, she'll get into the Smith maneuver also in the cash damming. But so for the Smith maneuver to work, you need to have the right products. But some people already have the right product where they already have their mortgage set up with an automatic line of credit
Mhm.
attached to it. So,
Yep.
so some of you may already be set up for this. You're just not utilizing it.
Correct. So it's like you have so the whole idea behind the Smith maneuver and rental cash damming is you have to have a readvanceable line of credit. And I talk about this in my webinar. That's a key
Mm-hmm.
component of the Smith maneuver is to have a readvanceable line of credit. But like you said, a lot of people already have this proper product in place, but they're not utilizing it. So it's like having the supercomputer and only watching Netflix movies on it, right? So it's like this supercomputer can run an entire country, but you're just watching Netflix on it, right? Like you got this powerful computer, you got this powerful mortgage product that can
Yeah.
actually work for you and can actually benefit you and increase your finances, right? Increase your wealth. But unless you know how to use it, it just sits there and does nothing. So unless Sylvia knows how to run the country with his supercomputer, I'm just watching Netflix on it, right? You're absolutely right. A lot of people have this product, but at the end, Debbie, I think one of my mottos is you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. Whenever, like, speaking to you right now, and I've used it before when it comes to people that I've spoke to, there are a lot of people that I, say, have you considered real estate investing? Oh no, I'm not ready. I don't have the money, right, to
Mm,
do that. And like you said with your mom, it's like, I can't do this. I've got debt. I've got all these debts. I don't have the 5% down, etc. And there are strategies and there are ways out there to do it that, the Scotiabank's logo motto comes to mind, you're richer than you think,
yes.
right?
Yes, 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 yes,
It's
absolutely.
all about, just understanding different strategies, etc. So some of you, you're definitely richer than you think on, you just need to be applying what you
Mm,
have, what the
exactly.
resources you have in the right way.
Exactly, exactly. And it's about having the knowledge. But a
Hmm.
lot of people, like my bookshelf is very, very smart, but it's applying that knowledge as well, right? Like you can read and you can watch and you can go to webinars and you can learn about real estate, but unless you actually apply it, it's no good to you, right? Cash damming is everywhere. If you search up cash damming, Debbie, you will find tons of information. It's on the
Hmm.
Scotiabank website, National Bank website, RBC website. It's on every bank's website. You'll see tons of information on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've never heard that term before.
It's all
Before
over
speaking
the
to you,
place.
Sylvia, I had
Yeah,
never heard that term before.
it's all over the place.
Right.
And again, you don't know what you don't know, but what the banks and the lenders and the information out there, what they don't tell you is how to actually implement
I'll
it.
take a minute. Hmm.
So that's me as a financial landlord consultant. I help Canadian landlords, middle-class Canadian landlords, implement this strategy so that you can be part of the wealthy Canadian landlords that are already doing this. They're already doing this every single day. But as us middle-class landlords, we don't know what we don't know. And then once we know it, if we don't implement it, then it's no good. So I'm a consultant that helps my clients implement this specific strategy.
So Sylvia, you're helping people, but what's your story with this? Have you used this yourself, and how
Oh
has it
my
changed
gosh.
your life?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So how this all came about was a strategy that's used by a lot of landlords is, and the strategies that's been given and used by a lot of landlords is to go variable. In the last 30 years, go variable. This is a rental property. Yes, the rate might be a little bit higher or the rate might be a little bit lower, but your exit strategy out of real estate is much simpler and easier than if you were in a fixed rate. So that's my advice to to all of my landlord clients, that if you're going to go buy rental investment, go into variable. My mortgages are all variable.
So are mine, and I'm suffering right now because the rate has skyrocketed. But at the same time, I'm selling a property right now.
Yep.
No problem. I had two offers on it, so there are people buying still. For people that are going, oh, the market isn't right or whatever. Mine was on the market for just a few days, and I had two offers on it, right? But I would not have. I would have had a. I still have another year and a half on that mortgage, so I would have had a huge penalty. But
Mhm.
because I'm variable, I'm only paying the 3 months
Right,
on there.
right.
Yeah.
So the strategy is to go variable. All my mortgages are in variable. And if you look back in the last 30 years, anybody who took a variable rate product will pay less interest than someone who took a fixed rate product, if you look historically back.
Mhm.
But if you look now historically back in the last 3 years, anybody who took fixed was better off than someone who took variable because prime kept on increasing,
Yes.
right? Prime's now 7.2%. Who would have ever known that prime would have ever been up at 7.2? The
Especially
government.
in such a short period of time when we were like at 1.5 or something
Exactly.
crazy like that, right?
Exactly. It's insane. And even the government didn't even know they were going to go up to 7.2 because they were qualifying at 5.25, which is benchmark, right?
Hmm.
The government didn't even know. So someone like myself who have mortgages in a variable rate product, my mortgages went into negative cash flow. Negative cash flow means the rental income coming in did not support the rental expenses going out.
Yep.
And so what I did was I used my savings to cover it. But because I own 7 properties, that was a lot of money it was digging into my retirement savings. And I'm like, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. So I searched and searched and searched. So I've been cash damming for 3 years now,
Okay.
and it works. It is super powerful and it works. Now I teach clients. Last year, when I filed my income taxes, I got a refund for $29,000. Yeah. Now I own 7 properties. Okay. They are in negative cash flow. So I had more write-offs, right?
Right.
The government basically paid me 29 grand. And it was just like, this stuff works. Everybody needs to know about it. So my mission is to work with every middle class, every landlord who is a Canadian landlord, who and empower them with financial strategies. So that's my mission. Empower them with financial strategies, landlords with financial strategies to save money, save taxes, and save interest. But do you know what my vision is? Ask me what my vision is.
What's your vision?
Okay, this is my vision. So I envision that when someone becomes a landlord, their first step is to open up a bank account, specifically for the landlord business, right?
Yes.
Their second job is to start cash damming. So that's my vision, is to shout it out of the top of every mountain here in Canada that if you're a landlord, you have to cash down.
So right now there are so many landlords that are in fear, going through exactly what you said, right? They're in fear. They're afraid they're going to lose all their properties. They may lose their homes because of their investments. They're thinking about, I'm going to have to sell this all right now because I'm in negative cash flow and I can't keep that up. So is that something you could help them with?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Before you're thinking that selling is your only option to get out of negative cash flow, please book a 15-minute call with me. Just chat with me. Okay. I am helping many of my cash damming clients right now who are in negative cash flow get out of negative cash flow, get back on top of their finances. And then once they implement cash damming, they're going to not only get out of negative cash flow, but they're going to actually pay off their owner occupied mortgage 6 to 10 years earlier. It's that powerful.
Wow. This is amazing. We need to get this out as soon as possible. We need to get this podcast out as soon as possible to help everyone. And then all of you that are, in this situation right now, I think, taking Sylvia up on just a free consultation to see if this is the right fit for you, I think that would be really amazing. I
Yeah.
think that would be really good.
Cashdam.ca, CHCASHDAM.ca. Just call, book an appointment with me, have 15 minutes, and let's just chat and see if this is the right product for you. Now, keep in mind, Debbie, this is for any landlord. So whether you're a neutral, positive, or negative cash flow, the strategy works.
Works. That sounds amazing. So if you're already cash flowing some money, imagine making even more. That's wonderful. But for those, I'm especially worried, and I would like to help those that are right now in negative cash flow situation, thinking that they're going to have to sell their homes, their investments. They may even have to take a loss on those selling because they can't keep up with this right now. So you also have a wonderful free offer. Could you
Yes,
tell us more about
absolutely.
that?
Yes, to learn more about cash damming, you can get the actual blueprint in my webinar. So contact me, go to my website. You can watch the webinar, and in the webinar, you will actually have the blueprint, the step-by-step blueprint on how to implement cash damming yourself.
That's awesome. So we will, whether it's on the caption for this or in the comments, I will share how to reach out to Sylvia, how to contact her, and information on how to get get to the webinar, the recorded webinar, along with which will also give you the details on how to get the blueprint. So this sounds amazing. I really want to get this out there as soon as possible to help everyone out there, because I know there's so many landlords right now that are, teetering on, I'm going to give up on this in this on doing real estate investing. I need to sell my properties, and we don't want that happening.
No, please don't sell because then you're paying the government more taxes, right? Because you have to pay them capital gains. So please don't sell. Talk to me before you sell, and then let's just work out numbers because it's a numbers game.
Awesome. So
Right?
thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Actually, my one extra question is, how do you manage being a mom of
Mhm,
two,
mhm.
and being a landlord and being a mortgage agent?
Yeah, so lots of different hats, but I'm sure many moms wear lots of different hats. For me, it's all about keeping it stupidly simple, KISS. That's another motto of mine. Keeping it stupidly simple. And just yeah, just I don't okay, how do I do it? Keep it simple. And because I've been a landlord for so many years, it just comes easy to me, right? A lot of my clients are attracted to the fact that I am a landlord. But if I was to give one key advice to a landlord, I would say it would be have a good Rolodex.
For your
Have a
trades, or for people, for your team,
For your
or
yeah,
for your
for
team?
your trades. Yeah, for your
Hmm.
trades. Because if when you're running a business and there's an emergency that comes up, you want to make sure that you have someone that you can talk to immediately. For example, your handyman or your plumber or your roofer or your window people. So that would be my advice. Yeah, to be able to handle it out because I'm not going out to fix your window. Are you crazy? I wouldn't know one thing to do about it, right? So that's how I handle it all is I have a good Rolodex.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Really excited about this topic. Thank you for sharing with us. I will be sharing your contact information. Also in this, we're going to put in a slide in here about how to contact you, and also it will be in captions and comments. Also, there'll be information on how to contact me if you want Sylvia's information too. So reach out to either of us and to get more information on this. Thanks again, Sylvia. Thanks for everybody that's watching, and continue to follow the series for more information, learn more tips and more strategies. Thanks,
Thanks, everyone.
everyone. Bye.